All right, guys, it's Easter Sunday out in the garage at the Puzzle Fox. So the last thing I showed was I kind of got the car up on all four jack stands here yet, got the wheels on. Still waiting for a couple of parts to come in for the wheel, that little hubcap that was missing. But I made an executive decision. I want to see this car run and drive. So I think the main things I really have to do is get coolant in it and get some ATF in there for the power steering fluid. Brakes are good, transmission's filled up, engine oil's in, differentials filled up to where I think it should be. Brakes work, there's pressure on the brake pedal. Seats are in, they're only bolted down in the front, but I think that's the key thing there. I don't care if they're a little bit loose just to kind of drive the car. Ooh. It felt pretty good right on the first push. But I was going to start pulling all the wiring back into the car and getting some of that cleaned up and out of the way. But I want to see this car drive. So I think I'm going to do my little hack job wiring. Get that starter solenoid hooked back up. Get the battery back in. Just kind of doing my jerry-rigging wiring just to see this car move. And then once I have that confirmed, I can plug away in this during the evenings and stuff. I figure, well, hopefully it won't bug people since it's got the open long tubes on it right now, just to get this car started and driving. So that's my key thing. I'm going to get all the wiring back in. Again, my real quick hack job wiring. Get that other little tube bolted back on in just kind of a half-ass fashion. Yeah, I feel pretty good kind of about where it's at, and I'm kind of rambling on, so instead of rambling, I'm going to get back to this and I'll come back. Hopefully I'll have this car idling and running. I figure I'll leave it up on the jack stands for now, kind of get stuff kind of buttoned up enough just to run the car, get the car running, engine running, and see if I can shift it and run it through the gears before we drop it on the ground. And two, I suppose I'll have to get that fired up, get some power steering fluid in ATF into the power steering and kind of cycle that a little bit, I suppose. I haven't ever really done that before, so it's kind of a learning lesson for me. I'm kind of feeling a little rush right now because I have an event that I want to take this car to in 2 weeks now. So I think 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks from yesterday. Yeah. So not a ton of time. Yeah. All right, let's do this. Okay, so I've been messing around out here for, gosh, at least, I don't know, hour and a half. But I got all my hocus pocus wiring done, including in the back with my crappy little bus bars and everything. The battery's in it. I did hook up a charger to it for a little bit. I got some power steering fluid in there, and I kind of cycled the steering back and forth a couple of times. So we'll see how that goes. Got about, I don't know, a good gallon of coolant and water in there, distilled water. But yeah, the battery's hooked up. I know I can hit the key and it gets fuel pressure and everything. So I think it's time to work on starting to bleed this. I did try to crack the little bleeder up in the thermostat housing neck there. Yeah, so let's I think we're gonna get this bad mamma jamma fired up and start trying to get water and coolant in here. I got my, when I did pulled all the spark plugs out again, there was a couple that were kind of coated in oil, so I dropped oil in the cylinders when I first fired it up. So there was a couple that had a little tinge of oil on them, so I did clean them up with like some carb cleaner. And then there was, the rest of them were pretty carboned up, so hopefully that's just because it was the first time firing it up and things are kind of doing their thing and trying to figure things out. So we're gonna get this fired up. I did notice when I had first put some water in there, I had some drippage around here, so I just tightened up that petcock fitting in there, and that seems to have done the trick. So we're going to fire this up, see if we have decent oil pressure. What? Okay. For some reason I don't have engine crank. Alright, so I was using the other camera before and I recorded it, but I had an issue where I turned the key and it wouldn't crank the engine. So I knew it worked before, and I checked the ignition switch and it would give voltage out of the, I think it's the white with pink trace wire. And so then I started thinking a little bit, well, what did I change? And I remembered, after thinking about it for a little bit, there's this transmission harness, and I took this wiring out of there. And I looked at the wiring, like a wiring schematic, and it talked about a neutral safety switch. Then I remembered I did just a quick little fix here where I plugged the wires together that were for the neutral safety switch. So pop that in there, hit the key, and then it would actually crank. So next step is I'm going to fire this up and hopefully get the coolant bled out a little bit. Got a little bit of coolant in there so far, not very much. But hopefully I can start getting that pumping through the engine and get some coolant in this guy. And hopefully I don't really find any major leaks. I did pinch this tube shut that was for the degas bottle and welded it shut. So hopefully I got that welded good and solid all the way across so there's no leaks there. Well, yeah, gonna get that fired up, get the coolant bled out, and work on the power steering too. Listen to that thing idle. Woohoo! Alright. Coolant temps up to 170. I'm gonna have to get some fans wired. So there's first gear. Stalled it out, but she's running. Sounding pretty good. Smoothing out. But the idle's smoothed out like this a couple of times. Oh, caught herself that time. But it's sounding pretty good. Woohoo! some leaks here. Not really seeing any. Just my slopping from trying to fill up the radiator. Coolant temps 194. Should open up the thermostat at some point here. Alright, I found one little leak under there. I wiped it up already, but it was coming off of the lower fitting on that oil filter relocation kit. Coming right off of this fitting here. So I tighten that up. We'll give it another shot. Alright, so good news. This car is starting to run and idle pretty decent. I think it's kind of doing its learn stuff yet, so it'll run and idle and then stall out and fire it up, and then it runs kind of choppy, and then it smooths out and idles nice, and then stalls out, it seems like, after a little bit. So, but the good news is, got it running tonight. Got some coolant in there, but she's starting to run pretty smooth. I did show when it was up on stands, you could put it in gear, pop the clutch out, and watch those rear wheels spin, so I was happy to see that. So I dropped it down off the jack stands, and I thought I'd let it idle and try to get some air to the front of the engine. But my fuel was so low that my must have had all the fuel in the back of the tank, and it was getting to the fuel pump, and my fuel pressure was down around 5-10 psi. So I shut that off right away. I had maybe a gallon of gas, or maybe a tick more. So I dropped, just sitting in a container gas can over there, so I dropped that in there and dropped it back on the floor here completely. So I forget, I know this isn't going to be the lowest of low Mustangs, but as far as what I intend to do with the car, I think it's low enough. The old Puzzle Fox is looking pretty spiffy here. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. Calling it quits for the day. I'm pretty happy with that. I was really hoping to take it around the block, and I think I'm pretty much ready to do that, just to see how it is. But it started raining here later this afternoon, and now it's late. Let's see if I can get in this thing.
It died.
tire too.
Ah. This kid that goes to the gym.
I didn't turn the key off.
Why?
How soon do you think the cops will come?
I don't think the cops are gonna come.
All right, so that was the first drive of the Mustang with the Yodi in it.